40 chess. Yeah. 40 chess. 40 chess. Let's get it.
Yo, is that T-Dog?
40 chess. 40 chess. Hey. 40 chess. This a trade show. Patreon where the trades go. Tap in and watch. That's what you came for. Ain't gotta say my name. They know my name, bro.
What's good, man?
We got McNutted in ATM. Always start off the show with a trade from them. You should always make sure that your trade is in. Patreon, why not be a Patreon? Know you wish you could spend every day with them. Tap in and say what you gon' say with them. South Harmon can fill up a stadium. Next time you log in, make sure that you bring a friend. We about to kick off, let the day begin. Go follow the socials. 40 Chess FF is posted. If your trade is an F, you get roasted. Go like and subscribe for the crew. Apple, Spotify, and the YouTube. You know Cooper got the warp too. Let us give you a walkthrough. 40 Chess. This is 40 Chess.
Hey, we here. The Dynasty Trade Show. Adam.
Live.
A couple weeks off, man. Live. Is this the first?
You know what? It's not the first. It's been a long time. Long time.
Oh, man,
back in the early days, we recorded one and we deleted the footage by accident before we released it, so we had to do it live. It was like episode 8 or something.
Yeah, back in the day.
Yeah, but it's been a minute, man. Mike, we couldn't do 2 Saturdays in a row, no trade show, right? I mean, we had to get this one out.
That's true. Gotta get one in, man. It's weird doing it during the day.
I kind of like doing it during the day. It's like, doing it with the lights on, It's like, all right, we get to see a little more.
Welcome to Erotic Trade Show.
I love this. We'll start this thing off fiery. Let's go, baby. Mike.
Must be our anniversary, right? She let you do it with the lights on.
Absolutely. And speaking of that, it's like Motel 6. We'll leave the lights on for you. Mike, let's see if this first trade really checks the boxes for you as far as an erotic trade. Right before I get into that, if you do want your deals featured on this show, you want to be a part of the erotica here, patreon.com/South Harmon. $1 gets you in the Discord, but $5 gets you to the erotic show. Mike, let's do it.
This is starting off so good.
It's fantastic,
so
no?
good.
Let's do it.
It's amazing.
All right. Let's start with the Rusty Tromboners. What a better league to start off with, too, huh?
Is this match made in
I
heaven?
promise, Mike, I promise this isn't a bit, by the way. 12-team Superflex PPR. It's a 0.75 tight end premium. Best ball, start 13. Rusty Tromboners, as we said the second time now, is the league. B Country is getting Puka and a 2025 third. And I am receiving his 2026 first, a 25 second from Roster Baiter. Anytime I can get a Roster Baiter pick in somehow, some way, Mike, I'm a little more intrigued off the rip.
That's a good one.
Even if it's a second. And then Brian Thomas Jr. Made this trade actually before the NFL draft. We know now that he was picked 23rd overall after the Jags traded back in the first round. Mike, erotic or no? And then which side do you want?
Well, it's a best ball, and it's a deep-ass best ball. So I'm going to take the three pieces for the one, even though Puka's really good. Regardless of warp, I mean, it's a one-for-one position swap, essentially. But I know people are like, I don't like trading for 26 picks. They're so far away. Adam, that's what I said about all them 24s I got. Seemed to work out okay for me, didn't it?
Yeah. Whenever you decided to cash, I'd imagine it was pretty good for you,
Yeah, you did all right. And again, I understand in like maybe some more like casual leagues, the timeline. There's a lot of people out there who like to play Dynasty like redraft anymore, and leagues come and go. Man, they come and go all the time. But the one thing you do know, right? This is a Mike league. So flex. I do anything possible to keep these fuckers going. It's gonna be around 26.
The show goes on. The show goes on.
So you're setting yourself up because it's best ball too. Puka is almost guaranteed to outscore Brian Thomas this year. Like that's got to be like a lock of the century, right?
I would think outside of injury, Mike. Like honestly, right? There's the only way. It's the only scenario I think.
I mean, for B Country, like if you're making a run for it this year, yeah, you could probably make this kind of move and set yourself up fine. But just from overall dynasty value, long-term dynasty play, thinking out multiple years, Adam, just fucking tear down from Puka to get Brian Thomas a first and a second, even though they're out there, and just kick back a third. Like, I do this all the time. To the point of the thumbnail, too. Like, I think there are some people who are a little bit more down on Brian Thomas, and I don't know if it's necessarily his talent, Adam, but it's just interesting, like, where he was. I had to go look at the good old keep trade cut, right? And you got it on the thumbnail there. I mean, he's in the back ends of the 20s as a guy who was a first-round pick,
right,
to a pretty good landing spot with a good quarterback. And he's got extreme amounts of talent, right? We just we have some questions like, can he run anything more than a go route or a hitch?
Sure.
Like
17 touchdowns.
Can he develop?
But what else?
Can he develop a little bit more? I mean, I did see people were talking about career yards per route run being a little bit low, but I think it's like, what, 0.03 off? Like, Jesus Christ, give me a fucking break. Give me a break. He had a massive year last year. I really like him. I thought it was interesting, though, if you look back at 1 year on Keep Trade Cut to a couple guys in last year's rookie class at wide receiver, Jordan Addison. At this time last year, Adam, he was like wide receiver 18.
Yeah.
That's where he started.
For sure.
Brian Thomas is fucking 10 spots later. And I'm pretty sure the NFL draft capital is about the goddamn same, ain't it?
Yeah. I mean, I think what's interesting, Mike, is that he's going to actually have a good quarterback play, and Calvin Ridley leaving, there's vacated targets that you could expect. I think there's a range of outcomes for Brian Thomas. Poor and probably pretty high ceiling, just given the raw upside and athleticism he has is just crazy. But let me ask you this: if you make this trade if you're me, what's your idea now with Brian Thomas? Do you think currently with the market where it's at, or do you feel better about holding him throughout the summer? Do you think that it'd be smarter to try to move now? Like, what's your next play here?
I think so. This is kind of interesting too. It's just an overall theme of this draft class because it's so good and so deep, and we have so many prospects to talk about. I mean, Brian Thomas has fallen to the second round in a lot of these rookie drafts, like the early part of the second, 201, 202 sometimes. And then I see people like offering trades where it's like, yeah, maybe that kind of deal for the 201, 202 gets fucking done, in the 22 class, in the 2021 class. Like maybe that happens there. This is a really, really fucking strong class through the mid part of the second round. Like these offers that I've seen come in the more casual leagues as I've gotten into these rookie drafts are like, what the fuck are you? No, there's no way I'll take this. You piss the fuck off. Sure. So I think with that in mind, Brian Thomas, man, he probably just a hold until he does something, makes a couple splash plays, and a little bit of the hype kind of grows a little bit more. Because he's not starting really high. Adam, if you told me he was up at where Jordan Addison was last year, I'm like, fucking, man, sell Brian Thomas. Get off him. Like, it's too risky of a profile for me to be like, oh, I feel really good about this.
Big time.
But at fucking 30?
Yeah.
30?
Well, I mean, I think...
You kidding me?
I'll just say, too, I see a lot of the comments. I love this. Mike, I love doing it live. I get live reactions, like, as we're breaking it down.
We get live D-Bro.
We
get live D-Bro.
I want to say for this trade, I think this one of the reasons I wanted to start off with this trade today, Mike, is if you tell me that I'm getting this offer in a lineup start 10 league, I'm not taking this.
For sure. Oh, yeah. Yeah, because you got to push the button on them every single time.
I'm not doing this at all. And honestly, like this is
best ball league. It's much different.
This is also not just best ball, like where we're starting 10. This is best ball with 13 starters, Mike. And I think just understanding that this is a process play based on this format specifically, where I'm basically trying to continually up my chances of more shots at the dartboard each week. Because like Puka's great, by the way. It's not that I don't like Puka. I have him extremely high on my Dynasty rankings. I love Puka, but just the way this format is, I want more shots at the dartboard. And I think if you just thought about this visually, Mike, if that 25-second can become Deontay Johnson type-ish. Now, wide receiver 40 value type thing on like keep trade cut right now, but could be a top wide receiver 2 type thing. 26 first, I can move that probably for another player. I have a very, very good team at this point. I got Zay Flowers, Mike Evans, Christian Watson on the bench with Roma Dunze, Brian Thomas. I got Bijan Robinson, Christian McCaffrey, Jalen Hurts, Anthony Richardson, Saquon Barkley. Like, this is a team that I think is ready to go. DJ Moore, Nico. I got a lot of talent on this team already, so it's kind of a just leaning into the process of coming – wow, that's about to get paused. Coming at you with more bodies. Say it anyway. Just let it happen. Just let the dirt shower over you. I think, Mike, just where are you at on this trade as a whole? You said you're pretty even on both sides. You think it makes sense?
I think it makes sense. I think it makes sense if it's a 1-year play for B country, but you know me in best ball, especially deep best ball, deep coming bodies. The more the merrier. I want more assets. The process part of it, I really like yours, and this is coming from a guy who's fucking competing against you in this league. Like
Sure.
We're 1 and 2 in this for a goddamn reason, Adam.
For sure.
We're fighting each other to the top, and I don't like this for you. I don't like it for you because I'm trying to beat you. How about that?
I like that, which is a perfect time to segue and pivot over to a different league, which you're in, because we'll compete. We'll have our day in Rusty Tromboners, Mike, me and you. What a better league to be 1 and 2 at the top.
What a better.
All right, let's talk about this trade here. You are acquiring. I think people are going to really. Mike, let's go spicy. The lights are on, but we let people see. Tyler Lockett and Jordan Love. You're acquiring for sending away Justin Herbert and Tucker Kraft. It's 2 for 2. Obviously, it's a tight end versus receiver swap, but Lockett super, super, super devalued in Dynasty right now. People could give a shit, I think, about Tyler Lockett. 12-team Superflex PPR, full tight end premium, best ball start 12, shit auction 4. Mike, I think obviously while I say all that about Lockett and whatever you think of Kraft, the elephant in the room, the huge thing is Justin Herbert, who people are saying a couple years ago is ahead of Mahomes in startups, versus Jordan Love, who we didn't even know if was ever going to get a starting job a couple years ago. Talk everyone through it.
Justin Herbert is extremely talented. We can't deny that. The offense that he's in is fucking terrible. And anybody who tells you any different is fucking lying to themselves for a quarterback. They are fucking flat out lying to you. Greg Roman for years could not devise a good passing game. It was very, very frustrating if you were a Baltimore Ravens fan. We can go talk to our good friend Thomas Tipple. Ask him how he enjoyed watching his fucking Ravens under Greg Roman as far as passing concepts, routes run, all of this shit. Yes, they did get a receiver. Good. I'm happy for Ladd. Like, I have no qualms about drafting a Ladd McConkey because there's nobody else there. The fucker's going to get fed targets. Even in a low-volume passing offense, that's what you want. But to be an elite quarterback, you cannot be stuck in an offense like that if you cannot run for 5, 6, 7, 800 yards, Adam. And Herbert is not that type of quarterback. He's mobile, but not that dude. Not at all. You go back and you look at how Alex Smith fared, how Colin Kaepernick fared, how Lamar Jackson fared, and then subtract, like, those guys as rushing. Or Alex Smith would probably be the best, like, corollary as far as rushing skills. Maybe Kaepernick if you want to get up there. Herbert's not that, though. Herbert's not that. So if I'm looking at it for this year, like, I'm trying to make moves here, I want to get off all of my Herbert shares. I really do. If he's still valued high enough. And I'll tell you, I'll take Jordan Love straight up 1-for-1 over Justin Herbert any day of the week. Twice on Sundays, 3 times on live stream on Saturdays. Now the
live
Tucker Kraft
trade show
thing,
starting off hot. Let's go.
I love Tucker Kraft to death, man. That was one of the big hits for me. That was one of the big hits.
We were clamoring.
We were clamoring, right? Yes. But tight ends don't fucking matter, man. They don't. There's very few leagues out there where having a good tight end really means shit. It really doesn't. I can replace Tucker Kraft like that. Even in a deep best ball like this, Adam, I could replace him off the fucking waiver wire.
Well, actually, he's probably. I mean, you could replace him in both lineup and best ball. In best ball, it's just a matter of do you have enough tight ends in ranges from top 25 type tight ends, right? Yeah. Just give you. I'd say it depends on. Is this I can't remember. Is this 1 or 2 tight ends in this league for the scarcity of the position? Do you start?
I believe it's just 1.
Single? Just 1. So yeah, I mean.
Single. Not
that it would matter a ton more, Mike, if it was double, but you want to have a certain number in roster construction if it's a double tight end. I'm looking it up. It looks single. So,
single, yeah.
I'd say this. I think I'd rather have Lockett than Kraft in best ball, but I could totally make the case, even as much as I hate tight ends, that's a fair, fine swap either side.
1-for-1, yeah.
I think this obviously comes down to the huge trade of Herbert for Love, and I will say this, Mike. I think that Jordan Love is in the range of when you talk about trying to pivot out of Herbert. I think the big problem for people is like someone has to send back an elite type quarterback. I think Jordan Love is probably the last of the range where I'm like I would consider taking the other side. I'd rather have the Jordan Love because of what I saw in him. He was so good down the stretch. He's going to get a contract, and he's someone that was. I mean, he was quarterback 5 last year in a lot of formats, Mike. But people kind of miss that. So. Definitely, it doesn't have the sex appeal. Keeping it on theme here, Mike, with Jordan Love versus Justin Herbert. But I think right now this is a pivot that's well worth making, especially given I know that you're going to have a roster construction in this league where, again, you don't have to rely on specifically starting any one quarterback every week if you come 3-4 quarterbacks in your room.
I mean, keep trade cut isn't gospel, but Herbert's still a QB8, Adam. So
where's Love at?
Rich, I'll take above him. Love is at 10.
Okay.
Right? Rich at 9, Love at 10. Kyler at the QB 11.
I'm surprised that hasn't gone up a lot more than it has, just because of the Marvin Harrison pick.
Jaden Daniels. I'll take Jaden Daniels.
Debro approves. Will you? Okay. That's probably where I would agree, but that's probably like, are we cutting it off after that? Where's it go after that?
I'll give you one more. And this one will probably be 50-50 because in reality they might end up being in kind of the same situation. I don't really know how to feel about Trevor Lawrence. Right? Trevor Lawrence or Justin Herbert.
I'll take Lawrence, but I'm with you. It's teetering.
It's a lot,
value-wise too.
It's like how you feel. Yep.
Value-wise too, I think it feels like am I really getting enough back? I still would take that. Now, look at this, man. Debro, let's do a little side trade for the trade show. He's traded away the 112 and a 25 first for Jordan Love. I mean, unless your team is, I don't even care if you're the 101. Like, I'd rather have Jordan Love probably there. So,
yes,
smash.
I mean, what best case scenario? That's Bo Nix and something.
I mean, yeah, obviously it could be Penix and it could be Penix in an early first is like the best case scenario, something like that. Nix, right?
But even then, you're still in the range of outcomes for Jordan Love. So yeah,
exactly.
Fucking give me Jordan Love.
I'm in. By the way, I think I take your side there. I understand betting on Herbert long term, but they just got this coaching staff in. How long is that going to take? Right? Like,
look at this. Look at this trade.
I know. Blitz. With the week off, Mike, Blitz was able to get a little in his bag. Try to get some themes going here.
Blitz in his bag, man. Good job.
Jordan Love, Justin Herbert again. Let me ask you, Mike, are you drinking bleach with that last trade?
Yeah.
Drinking bleach is acquiring Jordan Love here. So this is itchy shitheads, by the way. I feel like we are definitely going down. I mean, you talk about the erotic stuff. You know what happens after? Sometimes you get the itchiness post.
Get the itchy, yeah.
That's not a good itchy shitheads.
If it persists too long, go get checked out.
Yeah, I don't know if cortisone's going to help this, frankly, but we'll try to. I don't know, Mike. This is literally no different than the trade we just last had, except swap out. You get a little extra piece in a third.
Yeah.
So if you're going to defend for Love, there's no extra analysis. Like, all right, you give me a third too, sure.
It's the same kind of format too, right?
Best ball start 12. I honestly, Mike, let me ask you, does it matter if it's just a 1-for-1 quarterback swap like this? Does it really actually matter if it's a lineup start 10 versus a best ball?
Doesn't matter at all.
I mean,
I value them the same.
Yeah, these quarterback styles aren't different enough to even really have that type of conversation either. So, nah.
It's the same thing, same position. Doesn't matter if it's best ball. Doesn't matter if it's lineup. Doesn't matter if it's start 9 or start 15. I don't give a shit. It's 1-for-1s.
And you know what? This is, to that point, this is Mike's favorite position. Best ball start 12, Itchy.
Yeah, it is.
All right.
Not itchy, though.
Nice.
No itchy, Adam.
No itchy. I like that. No Diddy, no itchy. 12-team Superflex, 0.5 PPR, 0.5 tight end premium.
Fuck,
wait a minute.
Justin Herbert. This is the Justin Herbert trade show, and Adam's got a Brian Thomas Jr.
I just made a thumbnail, Mike, super late at night. I went out with my buddies. I haven't been out in a while. I was absolutely not sure if I was going to wake up today, to be frank with you. But I'm feeling good. The first trade I saw, I'm like, all right, I'm just going to make a Brian Thomas thumbnail. And we probably don't have any more Brian Thomas trades. But this is a Herbert show. 10 offense, 10 defense. Lineup start 20. Maximum IDP 1, 2, 3. I don't think this is the maximum IDP league. I believe I'm in that league. Shit IDPs, crazy scoring. Justin Herbert and Gus Edwards, Mike. So you get the Chargers running back potential one. I don't even know. Herbert 103. 25-second, 402, Mike. So it's funny you just went down that list with Jaden Daniels. I imagine in a lot of drafts that could end up being Jaden Daniels right there at 103, right?
Yeah, you see it quite a bit.
If that was Caleb, would you do it? It's not going to be Caleb at 103, but would you?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you do it if it was Marv?
No.
Okay. I think that's where, Mike, at this point, I'm kind of curious. We can go in the lab and see what it became because to me, I'm kind of with you. If I had quarterbacks, let me ask you this though. Let's say you're flush at QB. Would you do it if that's Marv?
If I was flush at quarterback,
Like you got 4 solid, legit ones, right? So you can basically discard Herbert.
Yeah, I think you can make the case, and then especially with this league being IDP, I don't know exactly how much they're worth. I'll pull it up here on the Warp Tool and kind of get an idea. Most IDP leagues don't matter.
Correct.
We both know that.
Correct.
Koopa definitely knows that. Most of them don't. There's a few out there that really do. That really do. So it'd be interesting to see. Like, I'd be fine with trading away Gus and getting the second back on the other side of it for Big Diaz. Especially if the IDP like had any kind of meaning whatsoever.
Sure.
Like, I'd be fine. If I was flush at quarterback, I could trade away her. But most people aren't. I mean, most people don't have 4 top 10 quarterbacks, 4 top 12 quarterbacks sitting on the roster.
Agreed.
In reality. I mean,
Interestingly enough, Mike, I mean, unless my eyes are deceiving me. So I'm looking at the lab. I was just trying to see trying to get the 103 pick, obviously. But what I'm already seeing, too, what's crazy, Scooter P doesn't have Justin Herbert any longer.
Did you move him already?
Yeah.
That's fast.
But so his quarterback room now, there's so much context I would like to dig into here. Kyler Murray, Deshaun Watson, and A-Rich are still his QBs. His team is definitely the best projected, both redraft and dynasty values, it looks like. A-Rich, Jahmyr Gibbs, Kendre Miller, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Garrett Wilson, T. Higgins, Dalton Kincaid, Kyle Pitts, Jordan Addison, Kyler Murray, Watson. His bench has still got some players on it. They're solid. Christian Kirk, Josh Downs. And he's got 325 first. So it's just loaded. I think I don't know what he did to move Herbert, but I'm curious with Big Diaz energy if he made that pick and if we know if it's – or did they have their rookie draft yet?
Might not have had it yet.
No. Doesn't look like it.
Might not have had it yet.
They haven't had it yet. Okay.
I can break your heart and confirm too. Like, IDP doesn't really fucking matter.
I mean, you're not breaking my heart. You're just confirming what we probably already know. But it still kind of breaks it.
Anytime you pull up IDP and like they just kind of barely stick above or not too far above like tight ends, you're like, okay, you're kind of shit. I mean, they're okay. They're fine, but it's whatever. They're very flat.
Mike, I think honestly, if I just go back to the surface of the trade, I think I'm probably taking the 103 side, unless you're telling me that I'm going to get Marvin. I really cannot afford to have this type of quarterback movement. I'm basically going to take the 103 side here, and I'd say 80-90% of cases.
Yeah, feels bad. Scooter P's at the end of the train after we just got done, dunking on. Sorry,
but here's the thing. That's why I made sure to leave a caveat of 80-90% because Mike, it looks like he's gonna still having 3 quarterbacks and now have moved on from Herbert again. If you tell me you 4D'ing Herbert and someone still values him highly, I think that's the thing with Herbert where I don't want to trade away just too far down the ranks, Mike, is because while I am leery and we're worried about everything you just talked about with his situation this year, Mike, it just turned May. We got plenty of time here, and it's still for all intents and purposes, a super liquid asset that's highly valuable. So, I'm not panic selling, but I would like to I'd like to pivot into the same type tiers that I believe he is, if I can. All right, let's get to the next trade.
Sorry, Justin.
I'm not sorry, Justin. The gridiron.
3-way.
Let's go with the 3. Man, Mike, the show that keeps on giving, buddy.
It's too easy.
Mr. Wonderful at the top changes his avatar, by the way. We got the Leo laugh joint. All right, so we got Mr. Wonderful, Warren G. Shout out regulators. Velasco, 1122. Okay. Mike, let's do it top to bottom. You know how we get down on the 3-way. We got to focus on one person before we can take care of the whole group, right? Jonathan Taylor is being acquired by Mr. Wonderful for DK and a third. Straight up DK and a third or Taylor.
50-50 deal, depending on what you're doing.
Lineup start 10, Mike. I'll tell you right now that if I was going to pivot into running back at this time of year, this would be one that I'm considering doing for sure. I could make the case 100%. And the 3rd and 26 is not going to make me worry about that.
And if I'm also not feeling good about my chances to compete, you can have the fucking running back, and I'll take the wide receiver.
Correct. All right. Did you say erect? Sorry. Bijan, Tajay Spears in the 201 for Jonathan Taylor, the 304, and a 25 third now. okay,
Oh,
like
Jesus, Warren G regulating out here.
Regulators. I mean,
He
what
mounted
the
up.
what, bro? Dude, stop. This is what happens in these type trades: is somebody is getting an absolute ridiculous deal, and someone is getting completely robbed. Because I'm already knowing, but with this happening down at the bottom is going to be really rough.
There's usually an even, there's a winner, and then there's a clear fucking loser.
There is someone delivering the blow in this three-way trade, Mike. Goodness. First and foremost, just compare it at the top. Okay, just think about it. Taylor versus Bijan. I love Taylor, but it's not that close.
No.
And where? How in the fuck do you get 201 then for even the 2/3?
I'm not even a Tajay Spears.
And we don't
fan.
even love Tajay, but just if you want to throw him in free my way, sure, I'll take a Tajay. I mean, I don't hate him. I don't hate the guy.
Fucking sure. I'll trade you the 304 and a 25 third for your 201 any
Like,
day of the week.
201 in this
Me a
class.
free Tajay.
We say I would say this in almost any class, the 201 versus
Brian
112
Thomas Jr.
difference.
I'll put it back to the thumbnail.
There we go, Brian Thomas Jr. Oh, stop it! All right, that's just
Got
insane.
it. I got you. I'm trying to help.
No, I know you are. I'm just saying, you're not making it better. The point is the 201 in this class is even better than most. This is egregious. Someone needs to get this dude in jail. This is a criminal activity. And then, Mike, wait till the last one. Imagine you're getting DK and a bunch of thirds for sending away now Bijan, Spears, and a 201.
Yeah.
What deal? That is.
Why?
I mean,
Why?
I'm actually worried about Velasco.
Maybe it is DK himself. Maybe DK plays in this league and he's like, I gotta get me some more DK shares.
In what scenario are you giving away, Mike, Bijan? And I bet you the 201 is gonna come in maybe a round and a half behind DK in and of itself.
Yeah.
In startups.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
I'm pretty sure, Adam. Like, we got a big list of wide receivers.
DK's what, like probably
for this
21 to 25 in Dynasty right now?
22.
Damn, look at that.
24 wide receivers who are just behind DK, Xavier Worthy, Brian Thomas, Lad McConkey, Keon Coleman. All guys, you're getting one of them motherfuckers at the 201. Like, locked. Lock.
Mike, remember when you took Bijan Robinson at 101 and then you add this year's 201 to get back DK in thirds? I mean, bro, what in the fuck?
Geist is screaming at you.
Is it?
And it's so small, I can't.
That's actually amazing. See, I need you to catch up because I've been drinking. This is actually awesome.
Thanks,
this is a
guys.
totally different trade, man. That's a totally different trade. I love this.
He capitalized it. I love it.
Mike, live, you know what's great is live, you can't correct this.
Fuck.
We almost never make those type of errors, too. Let's redo it then.
You got to leave the shit on your face for this one.
Oh, well, of course. I'm not trying to change it. But now all of a sudden, Mike, you go back to the second one. I don't like it for Warren G nearly as much, but it makes a lot more sense. 201 versus Jonathan Taylor, where are you at? Obviously still Taylor.
Yeah, JT.
What about would you take in a lineup start 10 with the any running back on 53 approach, Tajay, Brian Robinson, and get the 201?
Yes.
I think I would too still. It's a lot closer, though. I could understand it if you believe in Taylor.
Oh, man.
What about DK now on the bottom? Let's redo this.
Brian Robinson, Tajay Spears in the 201, or DK and a bunch of thirds.
I can't pay that for DK. I don't think still. I will say the thirds, the 304 all of a sudden. Yeah, I might be able to do that with all the thirds included now, right?
Yep.
304, you're still getting a shot at. There's actually some decent running backs in that range. I'm highly interested in too. What's up?
I'm just so sad. It's like that post nut clarity. Where it's
it's awesome.
Did I really do?
I mean, yeah, of course I misread. I mean, Mike, when I see B Robinson, I just want to hope and believe it's Bijan because I don't like to talk about Brian Robinson. B Rob, Mike, this B Rob strikes us again. You know how many times he's gotten us?
A few times. Not as bad as that David Moore, DJ Moore situation when they were both on the Panthers, but pretty close.
I still think, okay, so now actually I think the trade, this is one of those three teams, Mike, where actually nobody did get bent over, frankly. It's reasonable.
It is now.
Well, we
Bijan
read it wrong. We read it wrong. Warren G, I'm sorry. You were nowhere near as good as I thought you were. Velasco, I'm not worried about you. I'm more worried about me at this point.
I think it's
but see, you know what it is, Mike? It's anticlimactic now. That it wasn't as fun to grade that with Brian in it. All right, Calvin Ridley, Brock Purdy. Go ahead.
We'll do. We'll
Slap
go back
dick.
and post.
Let's go. Slap dick.
We'll go back and post and just cross out the Washington so you can't see it.
No. That's criminal. All right.
That's criminal.
Mike, let's keep this show right off the rails with Slapdick 2.0. This has been erotica, chaos. 12-team Superflex PPR, best ball start 13. We've been doing these are deep best ball starters. Calvin Ridley, Purdy, the 103, or Mahomes, Mike. Can you consolidate these three assets, knowing the 103's Marv or Jaden Daniels likely, to go get Mahomes like J-Cap's doing here in a start 13?
Man, that's too tough in a start 13 for me to do right off the rip.
I got to pull this up and see. This feels like a newer startup, right?
It has to be.
I'm about to pull this league up. Let's see. I mean, J-Cap's in so many damn leagues. 127.
Like
127.
Good.
Not bad.
Good luck finding that one.
That's why you can type it in, Mike. That search bar for actual leagues is only for guys like J-Cap. So
J-Cap, gotcha.
Okay. He's in Mike. He's also in like a rebuild mode.
What?
Yeah.
This is like
from redraft perspective, he's the third worst team in the league. He still has the 102 and the 109, 203, 209 in this class, but as far as like so
this is like
his team's not the greatest.
I texted you last night asking like, should I do it?
But yours, to that context, that was what was it? Neighbors and Marv, right?
Marvin Adunze.
Okay. Marvin Adunze from Mahomes. And I was like, in that format that you're playing is a lineup league too, right?
Yeah, lineup start.
I was 12. Like, I probably could make the case to just take Mahomes, but you don't have enough in a rebuild to consolidate those type of assets. Mike, this is Purdy, Ridley, and the 103. Like, the Ridley's not even the biggest piece of this puzzle, but just got paid. And I mean, in best ball, I'll roster receivers 10 times worse than Ridley is. So you and I hate Purdy, but if you tell me that's Jaden Daniels, Brock Purdy, Calvin Ridley in a start 13 best ball, I'll probably still have to take the other side. And if it's Marv, I mean, Marv would really, I think, probably be hitting the home run because you get a quarterback in Purdy, and then you get a upside wide receiver in both Ridley and Marv, young and older.
And because it's best ball and start 13, the quarterback
you want to have
below running backs and wide receivers here.
You're right. You want because you can only start 2 quarterbacks and you can start 11 skill players. Yeah. J-Cap, I mean, I can't do this, bro. Like, I love Mahomes. If you told me it was Purdy and Ridley, I'll take Mahomes.
Not if I'm rebuilding, man.
You wouldn't take Mahomes over Purdy and Ridley in best ball start 13?
In those
yeah.
two. I just mean as a total. Like if I'm rebuilding here, like,
but I'm saying
piece out Purdy and Ridley and then hit the home run on the 103.
If you made, I'm trying to get a line. If 3 for 1 now, because obviously we'd do 2 Purdy and Ridley for this. What would the 103 have to be? Like, how far down the class would we have to be? Like, where we're like, all right, I'll take the Mahomes shot. Like, let me put that at 107. Where are you at?
No.
Yeah, I'm still taking the package.
So I get 2 quarterbacks there, or I can get a Dunze, Purdy, and Ridley.
What about 112?
There you go. There you go.
I was gonna say basically, you start getting into the second round type thing. All right, fine.
You make that like Nix or Penix or a Worthy or Brian Thomas. Back to the number.
Lad.
Catch again.
Right. Brian Thomas.
Lay up for me. Yeah.
See?
No, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, give me Mahomes. I'll up tier to that. I can't do this 1 in a rebuild. 2, even if I was a contender, I couldn't fucking send away this stuff.
Brother, but this is the thing. This is best ball versus lineup to a T right here. I would make this trade probably to secure Patrick Mahomes on a lineup start 10, lineup start 11 probably even, right? Do it. I'm in.
Even a lineup start 13, I think I'd be okay with the up tier.
But there you could at least start having a conversation like, should I actually do this or not? But the point is, yes, I can get behind it. But best ball, Mike, you're starting 13. I don't think people realize how that format is just outrageous. I can't do that type of consolidation.
You do if you have access to the warp tool.
There you go. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. T-Rock made sure to screen capture into this trade. That's Tarek. What do we do? All right. Tyreek Hill and Jake Ferguson, Mike, SM20, or the 103.
The 103. You're talking about consolidation. I don't give a shit if he's a rebuilder or a contender.
All right. You can talk about consolidation all you want. This is just a flex. What are we doing? I'll say I really do like Tyreek Hill. I think it's typically the wrong time to sell him, but that's why you don't normally see this return. I mean, that's Jaden Daniels or Marvin Harrison, or it's never going to be Caleb. I don't think the way things are working, but it's one of those three players. No, I'll take the 103 side. I mean,
Easily.
that's crazy.
It's stupid. T-Rock out here flexing. That's what he's doing.
What? Blitz be better.
Blitz.
T-Rock, make those trades all you want, but don't act like we should talk about it. God damn it.
Karate
Okay.
in the garage. Erotica.
Did we just become best friends? All right. This a like we better read the names right here. This is a girthy one. Tank Dell, 203, 106, 307, 412, 105. 4. Tua, Olave, Waddle, Chase Brown, and James Conner. Karate in the Garage is a best ball start 10, Mike.
Okay.
So
best ball
105.
league. Let's start pairing up.
Pairing it
assets.
up. Okay. What does 105 compare to down below?
The 106 or Waddle,
106.
or 106 or Olave. We'll start there. 106 or Olave.
Still 106, but it's closer. Yeah, it's a cross off.
Waddle is the 105.
Oh God, 105.
Tua, or the 203 Tank Dell and the 307.
Tua.
Take Tua. How many assets do you have? Like if I told you took the 105 and
That one's
106
close
out of
though,
it,
Mike. In best ball, because it is best ball. Like 203 Tank Dell and the 307. I can make the case for the other side. I lean Tua slightly just based on that comparison.
What if I told you that 203 was Penix, right? For sure. Lock it in. Take the number out, make it Michael
Tank
Penix.
Dell side.
Penix, Tank Dell, and whatever the fuck
Yeah,
else you give Tua.
that's the Tank Dell side now.
Best ball, right? Best
Yep.
ball principles.
Yep.
Okay. So you won on all those. I'm okay giving you a free James Conner or Brown. Like you can just have them.
I just think about it from a best ball lens. Like now, okay, I'm glad you did that and broke it down, because when I actually think about my best ball roster construction, like what I'm looking to do here essentially is make sure I still get a quarterback unless I can actually truly afford to totally liquidate one, right? But I know that I don't have to have Chris Olave and Jalen Waddle's dynasty value at the receiver position to actually have the best rotation of wide receivers on my team. So if you're telling me right now, Mike, just think about this from the 105 and the 106 perspective. I'm guaranteeing at that point to get a May and McCarthy type at least with one of them. Okay.
Make it a quarterback. Go
Right.
that
So
route,
I just think about it from like I want to talk about it this way to cancel them as far as what I'm actually going to do with these picks if I was to make them all. Then 106, like now I'm flexible to just take what I think is going to be a higher valued receiver if it is if one of Rome or Malik Neighbors is still there. Right. Now I'd rather have that receiver anyway than Olave or Waddle. And now I have Tank Dell, which I'll happily pivot from a Waddle to Tank Dell in best ball, even if there's not a big cost difference coming my way for Tank Dell. The 203 now, Mike, I can't compare to anything is what I want to get to right now all of a sudden. Because the 203 is now, to your point, you could take a dart, long-term play like Penix there. You could take a Jonathan Brooks. There's way too much value already. And while I like James Conner, Mike, the 307 in this class and the 412, I'm fine taking those two pieces and getting rid of Conner and Chase Brown and calling this a W.
I mean, Chase Brown was a winner from the NFL draft, right? Didn't
True.
really bring shit in for him. It was a winner. I'm okay shipping him off because, kind of like you said, even if I did it the first way, but the most logical way is make the 105 Drake May, for example. Drake May or Tua? Drake May for me. I get it.
It's close. I could make the case for sure there if you wanted to win that you might want Tua, but I think dynasty-wise, I'll take Drake May. I'll lean Drake May for sure in dynasty value.
Adunze or Olave.
Adunze over any of these receivers.
Okay. Tank Dell and a 203. Whatever that's going to be.
Right.
Penix,
Yep.
Ladd, Keon Coleman.
Sure. Brooks,
Or the
whatever.
other receiver left over.
Yeah,
In
true.
best ball, give me the 2-for-1.
Yep, done.
And the rest, I feel like I won already, so I can toss you this shit in. Give me a third and give me a fourth. I'll just throw some shit at the wall at running back. I might find another Chase Brown.
And you know what, Mike? And I'll tell you this, too, from just a strategic standpoint from the NWK11 side. If I have this 307, like in lineup leagues, Mike, at that point, I'm pretty much going to start shooting my shot, even if I have to reach a little bit for a running back that might have a chance at opportunity, of Vidal, Rasheen Ali, something like that if I wanted to. Here, Mike, I'm fine taking Javon Baker types, especially because like I don't need anything but 2 or 3 weeks from him. I'm okay shooting a shot on a receiver further down the board at 307. So I feel a lot more flexible with that pick in a best ball league.
Yep. I like what NWK did.
I actually don't think like it was egregiously bad from Chillwill. I think it was premature and unnecessary, I guess is the way I would say it. Drinking Bleach is back. What?
Back again.
The double entendre. Drake May, Keon Coleman, Ray Davis.
Skeletor.
Like, there's been a lot of rookie picks and rookies, and there's only been one Brian Thomas Jr. My thumbnail's in shambles right now. All right, so Marvin Harrison Jr. or Drake May, Keon Coleman, and Ray Davis. Best ball start 11.
Oh, Jesus Christ, give me the 3. The 3 for 1.
I mean,
what a trade back.
Sheesh. What's interesting to me is like Ray Davis as the third piece is one of those where I don't quite call that a full third piece in best ball because I don't actually know. I think he's probably going to be usable. I just don't know what his actual workload's going to be inherently. All right, I don't know how usable he'll be. That's where I think I struggle a little bit with this. I still think I'm probably in this type of a format where it's best ball start 11. More often than not, I know the process play is just even to take the Keon and Drake side. But I think Ray Davis for me, Mike, is the piece where I'm like, could I have gotten something a little different there? Or ask for a different piece back as opposed to drafting and trading for the pick and then drafting Ray Davis. I think that's the sticking point where I could make the case either way, but I know in process Drake May versus Keon Coleman is going to be the one that wins out more often than not, just process-wise.
I think with Ray Davis, at least for me, like I really like him in the
So do I.
And if you want to talk about role, I don't know if it'll be any bigger than this, but you can just juxtapose the 1-for-1, whatever the fuck Lat Murray / Leonard Fournette / Ty Johnson was doing for him last year.
Right, in which I'd be curious, Koopa, you're in the chat. Can we put that as a human together and give us what the warp would be on that? I'd actually be curious. That'd be interesting.
Give me the
Can we get the 3 people all put into one ball and put that into a, what's the warp on this? Projecting. Yeah. I'll say, Mike, I could definitely make the case, though, if you were, I don't want to say flush, but if you were in a decent position with assets to go ahead and consolidate here. But I will say doing it with a quarterback and a receiver is where it feels tough in best ball. And not just in best ball, but in super flex for me. Like, that's tough.
I mean, people hate it when I say it, too, but, I could always argue for Drake May.
Over what's that? Yeah, I was going to say ahead of. Well, I mean, we can do that. I don't know if we need to repeat ourselves, but maybe people in here haven't heard it yet.
I won't lose all the viewers today, so I'll just shut the fuck up.
Get my man's a drink. Get my man's a drink. Then he'll tell you how he really feels.
We're hydrate.
W. All right.
Setting up for tonight.
I think, Mike, if that was, I'd say I want the process play typically there, but I could understand consolidating for Marvin Harrison if you believe he's him. Interesting trade here, Mike. Brian Thomas. But here, can I tell you what I think this trade should be right here? I just dropped a video yesterday. I think it's worth a dive after this if you got a little bit of time. Mike, this is to me, although it is Brian Thomas, as you see there, I would love to talk about it too from a standpoint as what if you took Penix there?
Penix or Kirk Cousins?
But let's do Brian Thomas first, obviously, because it is Brian Thomas is back. All right, let's start there. Brian Thomas or Kirk Cousins in a start 11 best ball league. Which side do you want here? I might need to pull up Warp for this though.
I just talked that shit about quarterbacks though, but I'll take the wide receiver here for the certainty. I like quarterbacks when they're in certain situations where I can project 2-3 years of starting.
There you go.
Can I do that with Kirk Cousins? Fuck, I have a tough time sometimes even wrapping my head around like what if it's worse than we think? What if Michael Penix does this during OTAs? What if
I got news for everybody.
Balls out in the preseason. Like, there's a lot of what ifs with Kirk Cousins where I'm like, fuck, I ain't giving you a first. You piss off.
Whatever you thought,
Pass.
and whatever you want to make the if is, Mike, I promise it's worse than you thought as soon as they took Penix at 8. But I don't mind this trade. I don't mind pivoting from Brian Thomas to Kirk Cousins, Mike. But I'll say this: if you're going to do that, if you're big dirty punt, this has been a great show. It's just staying
big dirty punt.
Big dirty punt. This is not probably a trade I make quite yet. I'm exhausting all of their options, Mike. If I'm going to get off of a liquid type player of Brian Thomas in this class with first round draft capital, how receivers are valued, I think I might try to wait it out longer and push for a lot more other options before I actually make this trade if I needed a quarterback in a situation like this.
There's a ton of options too in that range, right?
So many.
Matt Stafford or Kirk Cousins, Adam?
Stafford.
Spot the difference in the picture.
Stafford.
Well, Stafford don't trade for no fucking 112.
Stafford, Mike, was Stafford Stafford has the injury concern or whatever, but who are you worried about? In the
Stetson Bennett.
Stafford still has
Jimmy
the green light
Garoppolo?
to chuck that bitch however he wants to, right?
As long as he's there. Yep.
I'll take Stafford over Cousins. I don't think that's hot take anymore. I think that conversation would have been really a very good one had it been no Penix draft, but that's not
Aaron
the world we live
Rodgers
in.
or Kirk Cousins.
Close. Same picture.
Same picture, but what's the difference?
I mean,
There's
Aaron
no
Rodgers.
fucking quarterback on the Jets drafted.
Believe it or not, they traded
year.
Zach Wilson away, right?
They traded that guy away.
Yeah. So
Jordan
I'll say
Travis. You worried about Jordan Travis taking his job?
Eric earmuffs.
Earmuffs. No.
Nah. Let me ask you then, where's the quarterback line you would trade away Brian Thomas right now? Like what do those players look like? Would you have done it for Rodgers?
No.
Me either. Would you have done it for Stafford?
No.
So I think while we're talking about what Cousins is worth versus those quarterbacks, I think we still say we'd rather have the 112 here.
Well, I mean, on keep trade cut, I'd trade him away for Deshaun Watson.
Okay, there you go. I think that's that's a risky play, but I think it's a more reasonable pivot.
In best ball, if I needed another quarterback, right? You're gonna need 3, for sure, unless you just have 2 absolute units that are never gonna get hurt. But I don't know. Baker, Bryce Young, Will Levis, Bo Nix, Michael Penix. Those are like 1-for-1 Brian Thomas deals that I would be interested in. You're starting to get in really good quarterbacks, man. Most of them are dog shit, though. I'm
trying to see. Is this if you're Big Dirty Punts? Is he super super rough situation at quarterback? I feel like that's the only way you can make a trade like this.
It's got to be right.
I'm guessing
with a name like Big Dirty Punt, right? Can't have too many leaks.
Okay, so I got it here. Jalen Hurts is quarterback 1 now. Kirk Cousins quarterback 2. Oh, he got Justin Fields and Kenny Pickett'd, Mike.
Oh, so he got fucked over.
He had
Shockwave.
He had the Pittsburgh quarterback and the Bears quarterback. Then he ended up with the Steelers kick returner, and he ended up with.
Stop it!
You seen that shit? Come on, what are we doing? What are we talking about?
Cooper talked about the new kickoff rules. Maybe he's going to field it on one side of the field and then throw it to the other.
What's Jalen Warren doing up there talking about that stuff, man? What are you doing?
Shut the fuck up, Jalen. This is why you can't beat out Najee.
Yes. He's also got Zach Wilson, Jimmy G. Mike. He's got a whole bunch of dead bodies at the quarterback position.
Y'all want to see a dead body?
He's got his. He still has his 25 first. I'll say this. Kirk Cousins will fill a hole for you at quarterback, but Mike, you know what I feel like though? You're just. I knew you'd like that. Why couldn't you let me finish? Now I can't even get the fucking thought out. But it's so temporary though. Like you're going to be chasing again. I don't want to keep using liquid first round picks to keep chasing with a Band-Aid approach, right?
Yeah.
That's my problem here. He's also projected to be right in the middle of the league. Give me Shockwave side, man. What is this?
Yeah.
No.
Brian Thomas Jr. There you go. Got him.
BTJ. Stop hating on him. All right, Mike. Let's get to JJ McCarthy, your guy. The quarterbacks to the moon.
Ooh.
JJ McCarthy, the 410 and a 25 third, or the 202, 308, and 206. Interesting. So we know JJ McCarthy was drafted at the 107 for B Hall. We do not have names to the other picks. So, Mike, would you trade away on the clock, not knowing what's going to come to you later on in the draft here? Would you trade away your 202, 308, and 206 to go up and secure McCarthy? That's essentially what's happening here.
That's tough because it's best ball, right? You told me this was lineup, I'd feel a lot more secure about moving into J.J. McCarthy.
Spice Freedom. Spice Freedom Coalition. Let's go.
But, Adam, you did the video. Like, this could be Michael Penix and Jonathan Brooks and, some fucking running back. Or Javon Baker, or whatever the fuck you want. This class is so deep into the mid-third where I'm like, fuck. It's tough.
Can I tell you now?
Shit, that might be Bo Nix, too. I've seen Bo Nix fall into those.
Let me ask you this right here. Let's just say that you use a 202 to secure Penix. Not 206, you get whatever your cup of tea is.
Whatever
if you could,
right?
In 308, you get another shot versus 410. Like, I mean, we're talking, Dylan Labe maybe, something like that. At best case scenario.
Mm-hmm.
If you could, I say this. I can understand it, B Hall, if you need to have a quarterback that's playing right now and that you feel a little more secure in. But like, if I would take this 202 side if I had the ability to wait a little bit on quarterback, because if I can wait a year or two to have a quarterback 3 that becomes better than that in Penix and just value bump, I'm willing to take the 206 and 308 as the return.
Let's talk about it like it's not a quarterback though.
Okay,
Let's say
that's a different
Keon
conversation.
Coleman.
Ugh.
Keon Coleman and Xavier Legette and whatever that third is.
Am I flush at quarterback? Because the answer is one way or the other based on that specifically for me.
I don't think I would trade away J.J. McCarthy even if I was flush at quarterback for just that.
I mean, I think I could absolutely make the case to doing it, but I don't think it's necessary, right? Like,
right.
I could probably get two different receivers.
There's two scenarios. I like B Hall's side if it's not a quarterback at the 202 falling there. If it's not, right? Like if it's in one of these.
Can I tell you, I've yet to
leagues,
see
like
outside of a league you and I have done together, which is not a South Harmon league, it's Spice Freedom. I know I wasn't invited to this one. All right, I wanted to be spicy, have some freedom.
That's true.
I've not seen all the quarterbacks drafted in round 1 except for in our leagues where it's either crazy juice quarterback scoring or you're like, no, they're not getting to round 2.
I'm in a draft right now. I had no picks in the first 2 rounds, so I had no influence on it. There's not a bunch of South Harmon dudes in here.
Okay.
All 6 quarterbacks went in the first round. All 6 of them.
What picks were they?
1 and 2, obviously. 7, 8, 11, and 12.
Okay, 11 and 12 versus 202, sure. ADP is reflective of those would be offsetting the data a little bit, but that's not crazy. That's the same tier as those other players. I'm trying to pull up this league here to see. I want the context.
So for this one, like to use it, it was Brian Thomas at the 202. So you can plug that one in. 206.
That's official? Brian Thomas, back on the trade show.
No. I mean, in this league that I'm just substituting what these picks were. All 6 quarterbacks.
Oh, you're talking about in your draft.
So.
Okay.
Yeah, yep. So Brian Thomas would have been the 202. 206 was Corum. And 306 has yet to be picked.
So, yeah, they haven't. This draft must not still be over because they're not updated in Sleeper yet. But B Hall, Mike, his quarterback room before this is Herbert and Will Levis. So this now gives him Herbert, Will Levis,
the
and
third one.
McCarthy. And then Chain RXN, Mike looks to be more in like a rebuild mode. He has Jordan Love and Tua Tagovailoa at quarterback, and he gets obviously those picks, which we don't know what they become yet.
I think I'm okay with this actually. Now that I'm thinking it through, because the percent chance of you getting absolutely fucking boned, like B Hall is lower than just go ahead and secure JJ McCarthy.
What I'll say about this is like the only reason this is even a discussion is because how much we like this class in particular. But like if you look back on this, and the worst thing you had to do was trade away a early and mid-second, even though it's a loaded class, to secure a quarterback with top 10 draft capital to a landing spot you like, that's not going to hurt you. It's not going to be typically a massive, massive thing that kills you in Best Ball Start 11. I just think like Best Ball Start 11 is the reason that it's tougher for me to do that overall. I think I'd make the case for B Hall side here still overall in a vacuum.
Yep. Hey, big
Chill Will,
guys.
is this league's back? SHMA. Chill Will's back too, by the way. All right, Mike, let's talk about this. Koopa's not in the trade, but his first is Michael Penix. Michael Penix or Koopa's first in 25. This is a 12-team Superflex, 2 tight end PPR, half tight end premium, 0.3 points per carry. Interesting. Start 11 best ball.
There's a couple of things that make me not like it, and then a couple of things that make me like it. So it's a very tough deal to judge, Adam.
Okay.
I'm in this league.
Oh, you
Cooper's
saw this
built
trade
a
go
really
down.
good team. Yeah. Cooper's built a pretty good team. But again, this is a fresh startup. Like, we just got done with the startup not more than a week or two ago. And you know how condensed everything gets, right? Like, there's not a lot of separation. So while, like, I really like his team, and you could call him the favorite or whatnot, and he's going to use warp, and he's going to figure out running back, and, like, all this stuff, it's still no lock than an existing Dynasty league that's been around for a couple years, right? That separation gap isn't as big. There's a lot more parity in this type of league, especially off of a startup. So it's not Joe Will's own first, which is a part that I like, because you're Koopa, just don't fuck this up. You'll be fine.
Right.
right? Like I still have my insurance. You're buying a quarterback for a single first in a class where the quarterbacks right now we project aren't that good. Right? Like, we project probably not as good or as deep as a class. So that part I also like. Still, at the end of the day, it's just like, I don't know if I do this. I don't know if I just send a 25 first right out of a startup, even if it's not my own on a team that I like, because what if this is 102, 103 next year, 104 in 2025?
Obviously. I was going to say, I think to the you kind of beat me to what my point was going to be. I think with Penix, I know I'm getting a value bump at some point, but I think that value bump realistically is probably going to push him into the range of a late first-ish, mid to late first. If you make the trade right now for the 25 first, in theory you're getting the same thing, but I think what's baked in, even in best ball, unless you tell me this league is just so clearly distinguished as far as what the teams are, that Koopa's no chance to become. Typically, there's inherently if Koopa fucks this up, you have a big upside with this 25 first in some way. Even if that's like a 104, 105, Mike, that still probably is going to be more valuable than what Penix is next year, even if he's the starter for Atlanta. So, I get it. To me, it's the thing about it is, Mike, I guess in reality is they're the same type of idea, though, right? Like, I don't want to say it's trading in a tier for me, but it's the same type of concept. I'm getting back the same type of asset. I'm waiting and knowing there's a future value to be had with it, but neither one is going to be lineup relevant right now. So it's, I guess, kind of like I don't want to say neutral, but it doesn't. It's not like a massive talking point because I'm kind of making similar bets here.
It is. And Koopa can attest to it. I mean, when we did the startup, the NFL draft, when we started the startup, hadn't happened yet. Right, so you still also have those value. Like, I'm pretty sure he took Kyron Williams on his team pretty early. I'm sure he felt a lot better about where he took him before the NFL draft and post NFL draft, right? Like, there's things like that creep in. We got 4 more months for, like, bad shit to happen to existing contending teams. This is why I'm not a big fan of, hey, I want to set myself up. Like, fucking do it in August, man. Like, do it a month away from the season. Do it a couple weeks before the season. Don't do that shit in April or May because there's just too much time for real bad shit to happen to you. Like, you want to stay with young, exciting assets that are easily movable, or, like, knock on wood, well, I guess I'm competing against Koopa, so I don't really give a shit. Something really bad happens to Kyron and he suffers one of these Cam Akers type injuries,
Oof. Don't wish that
in
on
training
anybody.
camp. Like if it happens, right? Like Koopa's going, fuck.
Yeah, right.
Like who's trading for him? Like who? What's he getting out of it? A third?
Yeah, and
he's lucky.
I'll say I'm going to take the first here just off of principles of this. Like Penix, to me, the reason I'll strongly advocate that he's a value so much right now is because I can get him in the second round. If you told me Michael Penix is in the late first in this class, I'm not having the argument that he's a super ridiculous value now, right? And I think the whole idea is that's why he's a value. If at worst, I'm kind of in the same ballpark with this first, right? So I'm trading for the future of what he's probably going to become without the inherent upside of him likely. And it's going to take something crazy for him to be in the early part of the first round, right? We're going to have to see him on the field and like smashing. So let me get the first. I'll take the upside with the fact that the downside's probably not much different than Penix anyway. I'll take the first here.
Yeah, I do feel bad too. Skeletor put it in the chat. Chilwell probably felt bad because he didn't get quarterbacks because I fucking took every one of them.
Mike's out here not just taking people's quarterbacks, breaking their hearts, but making them put a trade like this through, which then he's going to criticize them for on the trade show. It's a kind of a vicious cycle. Speaking of which, we have a super chat. Mike, we got our first super chat on the trade show. Tyler, appreciate it. I don't have my Stream Deck plugged in. I took it to New York and haven't plugged it in since. I really wanted to get the cash money on that going, but actually I got the sounder.
Just make the cha-ching.
I got the sounder. There we go.
See, you good.
In a new format, 16-team, Mike, diabolical. 16-team Superflex is absolutely insanity. 0.75 tight end premium, full PPR. We're starting 10. How should 25 first be valued in this format? I sent 2 first for A.J. Brown. I got some thoughts on this. What do you think, Mike?
Quarterbacks are going to run this fucking league.
For sure. Well,
No question about it.
Yeah. Okay. Keep going.
They're going to absolutely run the league. However, if I was going to send away, right, it's 16 team. So if I was going to send away or build a team, like if I can get into the playoffs in a 16-team league and guarantee this on the later side, that first isn't really a first. It's more like a mid-second.
All right, so here. You know what, Mike? I want to speak to this because it's interesting. Mike, I don't know if you remember this. My first 14-team league I did, you and I talked about some of the trades and stuff I was trying to do with this team. I ended up getting boned very interestingly. You remember that? Keeping this completely on theme today. Getting boned. Cam Akers, Mike, in the offseason, right? So in a 14-team league, though, the reason I want to use this as an example and then talk about how it is even emphasized to a higher degree in 16-team. In 14-team, you have an asset like that go down, which you're really relying on. Depth is of the utmost importance in this league because you're spreading all the players asset-wise across 16 teams now, or 14 teams instead of 12. So the player pool shrinks up a lot quicker in drafts. The reason I want to say that is because I think the potential poison pill that people miss that got me for sure in that league, Mike. So I'm like, all right, in a 14-team league, if I trade away my 2 first for Devontae Adams, at that point, who was like peak A.J. Brown territory for sure, right? It was similar.
Yeah.
Except A.J. Brown's a little bit on the downside, but similar bet here, right? If I make that trade, I get Adams. I'm securing myself for sure in the playoffs and probably a chance to win it all. And if I win it all or go to the title game, that's a 201 or 202 realistically instead of a first-round pick because it's the 114. Mike, but here's the thing. 16 teams, the same concept, except you can go further. So now you get the 203 or 204. And obviously that's why you do that. But guess what happens with 2 first? One, that's 2 very, very valuable assets. And guess what happens? Guess what's baked in to if A.J. Brown can't save your entire team in a 16-team league? Mike, you know what happens? Quarterbacks are so valuable that the earliest picks in this format, you can't attain them. So you literally can. I'm telling you right now, the crazy part about this bet, Tyler, is this: if it works out, you win pretty decently, right? You'll get a nice. A.J. Brown could be far better than 202 to 206 range picks in 2 years in a row. But the downside is this is how orphans are formed.
It is. I was gonna say like it's nice because you're making a bet against the class. You have the opportunity if you make the playoffs, Adam. Like I understand all that for the A.J. Brown side, but again, like with the Chill Will trade, like to your point, what we're talking about here is this is a fucking bet I'm not making in May. I'm not making this bet in May. I'll wait till August or September when I know more, and I've gotten through these next couple months without taking any landmines or grenades.
Right. The one thing though, I will say he does clarify that it's 225 first, so it's someone else's 25. So it's not like you have 2 years now of no future first of your own. It sounds like it's a little better, but it's still a little better. But I don't think I'm making this bet right now, frankly, Mike. To be honest with you,
because I don't know how their teams are going to make it through landmine season either.
Can I tell you? And can I tell you why, Mike? I don't feel as confident in what happened to me. It was fresh out of a startup. He just said in the new format, which means what to me? This is a fairly new league because if you told me, Mike, you can guarantee like these teams are so far superior that they're locked into the playoffs, like the league is more divided. Much different conversation. I'm going to guess there's too much parity in a league this new. Yeah, probably quite a bit. So that would be a pass. I would say, Tyler,
especially now.
What's done is done. What's done is done, Dad. Are you going to invest or not? But I would typically not. I'd probably err on the side of keeping the first for now, and I'd push my 25 first in and on a trade like this later. If I was locked into the playoffs, I just feel like this is not the best time to do it. Even though A.J. Brown is probably a value in Dynasty at the moment. What? This is live, Jay. Put it on the socials, as Fizz will say. I put it in YouTube and X. I don't know what else I can do, buddy. Sorry, you have to rewatch it.
Perfect, man. We're finishing up just about lunchtime.
I was about to say Big Boy got hungry. Big Boy got hungry.
I could hear stuff happening. Listen, I have a crusade against Taco Bell too. All right, fuck you, Taco Bell.
What happened?
Well, it's delicious and I love it, Adam. But like I go to Taco Bell, and you
Is this
order
last
at
night?
Taco Bell. No, I'm just saying in general. I've noticed this over the last couple months.
All right.
Being very observant. So I go to Taco Bell, right? And I get 2 Chalupa Supreme steak, and then I usually get a grilled cheese burrito, That's my Taco Bell meal, right? And drink. You gotta get a drink too, okay? I'm fat. That's my Taco Bell meal. That sumbitch is like $30 now. Like, that's what it costs. $30 fucking dollars, Adam. So the other day I go out with the buddy I work with. We go out for lunch. We go to this little like burger joint or whatever.
Okay.
We go on the burger joint and I'm like, hey, I got it. I got you. I got lunch or whatever. So he goes up, he orders. I put in my order. And, we're both big dudes too. Like, so, you're ordering a lot. You get the extra cheese curds, all that shit, right?
We're going ham.
Order
yeah.
burgers, fries, cheese curds, drink, the whole thing. The guy goes, yeah, your total's $21 and something. Like, I paid for 2 people to eat, like, fucking just pig out at lunch. And it's $14 cheaper than when I go to Taco Bell. Like, so it made me wonder, like, what the fuck is going on with Taco Bell where they think they can charge these outlandish prices for their fucking cooked cat?
You know that sounder, the dong from the Taco Bell, like all that stuff. You're paying for all that. You're paying for all the commercials. You're paying for the sounders.
Dirty motherfuckers. But shout out Taco Bell if you want to sponsor the 40 Just Trade Show, by all means.
I can't do it.
Hit me up.
It'd be awesome for this episode, but yeah, Mike.
Stop gouging
I will
fucking
say
prices.
I will say if I can buy someone else's meal for cheaper than what I can, normally buy my own, I'll be buying everyone's meal. Yeah, come on, let's go. I got you.
Let's go.
Big man on
Got
campus style. Let me get your meal for you.
Nah, I just think it's fucking nuts. It's nuts. And then I found it out again.
That was not where I was expecting you to go with a Taco Bell story, like mid-afternoon. I was kind of expecting something different, but
we
interesting.
went out to lunch yesterday to what basically is the Midwest version of Chipotle. Like, we have a Chipotle here, but Chipotle's trash compared to Poncheros. Those of you in the Midwest know. If you know, you know. It's absolutely fantastic. So think like Chipotle, Adam, and like how expensive that kind of gets. Again, same thing. Like, I buy his fucking meal for him. It's like $25 for both of us. Big giant fucking burrito. And it's like, what the fuck are you? This is very similar. There's like taco shit in here.
Yep. You know what's funny though, Mike? That the AJ Brown one was our last trade, and I just hope that you don't get the AJ Brown that went to Chipotle. I don't know if you remember, Mike. He got food poisoning and he outed Chipotle over it. So you don't want that version of AJ Brown when you're trading 2 firsts for him. That'll turn into a shit show.
For food poisoning.
That'll turn into a shit show quick. Mike's got a shirt on. It's too early in the day. We haven't had him drinking yet. But there he was, man. We had the erotic trade show. We had the Brian Robinson, Bijan Robinson, classic mix-up. It happens all the time.
Brown chicken, brown cow.
And, Mike, what did you think of it, man? Brian Thomas.
It's a good deal. Other than Brian Thomas wasn't the most featured player on here. Justin,
you know what? He ended up being.
He made a
comeback.
But
it definitely it's a comeback story,
I think it was more like Drake responding to Kendrick Lamar on a diss track, But Justin Herbert still stole it. Still stole the show. Last night, Kendrick. Oh my God.
I feel like that's a good time.
Dead body.
It's a good time as ever to get out of here. It's a mic drop, if you will. Mike McNutted drop. We'll see you same time, same place next week. We won't be live, but it'll be back for the trade show. We're out of this thing. Peace.